Yeah. Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Snapdown Wrestling. I am your host, Tommy Lynch. It is a snowy one outside, but we're going to have a great show. We have four unbelievable underclassmen with us tonight. We have Luke Montefusco, Peyton Ellis, Hayden Myers, and Gabriel Boysu on the show tonight. And we're going to try to find out what is it that they do? Why so good? What does it take? These kids are unbelievable. They're up and coming. They're the future of wrestling, going through a tough time right now. And they're also part of Mayo Kwanji, who I've been finding out a lot about lately, and their club and what they're doing. And we're going to tap into all that. We're going to talk about clubs. We're going to talk about what wrestling is going on right now and how you can get involved and do it safely. Again, we are all hoping for a wrestling season. Right now, we don't have one. Right now, we would be in the thick of it. We would have already been 2.5 months in, and we're not. So we're looking to have some type of season. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. We're going to be talking about past state championship teams and past state champions and about these amazing underclassmen. I'd like to bring in first one of my own. He's a sophomore for me this year. Well, would have been wrestling as a sophomore this year if we have a season. And again, hope, praying that we do. He was a freshman for me last year, 120-pound freshman state champion for me, and a real surprise first year and a real up-and-comer that we're expecting some big things. So Luke Montefusco, sophomore at Cranston High School West, which is where I'm the head coach of. Hey, Luke, how you doing, buddy?
How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
It's a little snowy out tonight. We were going to have this at Mayo Kwanji Wrestling Club.
That stinks, yeah.
Judo and Wrestling Club. Yeah, and, unfortunately, due to the weather, we're doing it from home, but nonetheless, still right. How are things going over there? What's going on over there at Mayo? You guys,
just trying to make the best of it. Trying to work with what we can. I mean, it's tough not being able to be with your high school team right now, practicing. You just have to make the best and do whatever you can.
Yeah, certainly. It's hard all the way around. It's hard on the wrestlers. It's hard on the coaches. Now, last year you come in as a freshman. You were a middle school state champion. You come in, did you think you were going to just make varsity coming in, or what did you expect? We had a big team, you're coming onto a team that's, 50 strong and some really good wrestlers, great coaches. So what would that feel like for you?
We had a big team. It was kind of like 126, 132, 138. They were all packed. There was a lot of kids, and there was a lot of good varsity wrestlers on our team. We had a pretty good team, and, wherever I could fit in and get a spot, I tried to make that.
And you did. You're in the varsity spot first year, which was very impressive.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It wasn't easy to break our lineup. As you saw, we had, second string, third string, fourth string wrestlers in some way classes. Yeah, we're 5 deep some classes, so not an easy lineup to break. You come in freshman year, broke the lineup at 120, which again was not easy to do. So how'd you feel? Because you got it that first time. If everybody knows we wrestle off for the spot weight class, and you get in, after a couple of wrestle offs and your varsity.
It's pretty cool. It's a good feeling. I mean, you're starting. You're in the middle, like breaking it up. You're weighing in for just a big match, and it's just a big adrenaline rush. It's awesome to be a part of, and you're just a part of the team.
Right, and the first thing that we did was a tournament.
Yeah,
it wasn't even dual meet. Remember, North Kingston? Yeah, the Wilson Cup South County tournament. Yeah, we placed second.
Yeah, awesome.
Second in that tournament. Yeah, it was really really great. And then we, the next week you're wrestling off again. So how you feeling there? I mean, because the spot's not guaranteed. You got to wrestle off every week to a point. to a point.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you get into the season, you really kind of nail your spot unless someone is really adamant about challenging you for that spot. Once you settle in, you win, 3 or 4 wrestle-offs against the same kid. That's pretty much your spot, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's like you want that spot and you want to keep going because it's pretty cool. It's like your varsity. People know your varsity. It's just a good feeling to have.
yeah. What did you weigh coming in? Do you remember?
I think I was like 126,
Yeah.
but I wanted to cut down to 120. It'd be as light as I can.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty 6 pounds, within 6 pounds just coming
Yeah,
in.
it's fine.
That's pretty close. Right now, we do hydration test. We do skin fold test.
Yeah.
We do it the right way. So, back when I was wrestling, there was there was none of that. If you throw on a rubber suit and run, 2 miles to the school to make weight, that's what you did. That was kind of part of the sport. Bad part of the sport. I'm really happy that they do this now. Although it can be a bit of a pain because sometimes you can't qualify or you can't register for that weight class until a certain date.
Yeah.
So
cutting weight is tough. It's not fun.
No, it's not fun, but being so close.
Yeah.
I think the big thing for you was maintaining it because, I mean, let's face it, our practices are tough. You're going to lose 6 pounds in that first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Safely and effectively just because the conditioning. And then, of course, Coach Carbone and myself, as well as Coach Robert and Coach Nunzio, we push nutrition and doing healthy. I don't believe in cutting weight. I just don't. In the traditional sense, I believe in doing it safely and effectively and then maintaining that weight. Now, as a freshman coming in, you won a few, lost a few, had some real tough matches, won a few tough matches. Is there any match that sticks out in your head that coming into it, you were nervous and then pulled it off, or what do you feel on that level?
It was the NK tournament. No, the North Providence tournament was a big one. I faced a lot of studs there. The kid from Classical was really good. It was a tough loss in overtime. I remember that was like my big like first like big loss, and it showed me that like this is high school. It's not middle school anymore.
Yeah. Big difference.
Yeah. Big
difference. Speaking of differences, big difference from you at the beginning of the season to you at the end of the season. You improved so much, an incredible amount over a short period of time, over 2.5, 3 months. You improved amazingly, came through in a lot of clutch situations for us. Continued wrestling, became a freshman state champ. Talk about that. Let's talk about the freshman state championship. And first of all, how you, Luke Montefusco, prepared for it, not only with, getting to the weight and maintaining it, because by then you had a bit of a weight allowance, but how'd you prepare for it emotionally and mentally?
I always get nervous. I get down on myself. Like I don't have a lot of confidence in myself, which I had to change, which there was a lot of good kids on my side of the bracket. So I think there was three varsity wrestlers already on my side of the bracket, and one I lost to earlier the year. And it was just nervous because I was getting down on myself, and it's like, am I going to win this? Am I going to pull it off? And I pulled it off, and that self-esteem really like bumps you up, and it turned out really well.
Yeah, by the end of the season, I noticed that you were getting more confident. And the reason, why I was talking about coming onto the team, because I saw that coming into a bigger stage like that can be a bit taxing. You got to rise above that. You got to know that as a freshman, you've got nothing to lose. You go in there, it's all out. You give it your all. You prep for it emotionally, mentally. You should definitely have confidence because you're a great wrestler. There's some people that are logged on right now. Keith Robert, I saw you in action at Mayo Kwanji, says he loves your style. Kid's a stud for sure. Ron Robert. How you doing, Ron? Thanks for commenting in. Ron's actually the owner of the network, so glad to see that you're checking things out. And Luke is a stud. He says, like his dad. That's great. Serge, who is the man, the myth, the legend over there at Mayo Kwanji. He's doing some great things. People don't know what's coming with this kid. And so just saying, amazing kid and athlete. And that's true. That's true. Chris Carbone just chimed in. My assistant coach, your assistant coach, Coach Carbone. Big things coming for Luke. This is all true. So keep your head up.
Thank you.
Hang in there. There's big things coming. You got great team behind you. You know, you got great coaches in your corner. So it's all going to come. It's all going to come together. And make sure that you keep your head up, your chin up.
Yeah.
Go out there, nothing to lose, and don't be afraid of anybody. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
any wrestler out there. Don't care if he beat you before on any given day, any given Saturday, any given Sunday, and sometimes twice on Sunday. You can get beat and beat the same kid coming back around in the constellations. I've done that. A lot of us have done that. But never, ever care who he is, how many state championships he's had, how many national championships or qualifies. It doesn't matter. You're out there. You know that you're going to take it to him, and keep that head up. There's big things. Big things coming for you, and we're all excited about that. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to bring in another wrestler from actually Coventry High School. Luke again wrestles for Cranston West, and we are so excited to see what the future holds for this kid. So we're going to be right back. This is Snapdown Wrestling, Sports Fan Based Network, Rhode Island. We'll see you in a minute. All right. Welcome back. We are having some technical difficulties, I think, because of the storm at some points, and also some people having some difficulties with the internet. So if that happens, please bear with us. Things are running a little slower, and hopefully we actually get to finish the whole podcast, because I may be sitting in the dock in a split second losing power. So we're just going to roll along with it. And again, thanks for being patient, and thanks for tuning in to Snapdown Wrestling. Again, I'm your host, Tommy Lynch, and this is powered by and produced by SFBN RI, that's Sports Fan Based Network, Rhode Island. Our next guest that we have is 14 years old. He's a freshman this year at Coventry High School. He is a 7-time Rhode Island Youth State Champion. That is absolutely amazing. A 3-time Coventry Middle School State Champion, 5-time New England Champion. He's an NHSCA finalist, an NHSCA All-American, a 2-time Summer National All-American, and a War at the Shore champion. This is Peyton Ellis. Peyton, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks. Other than just being snowed in right now.
Yeah.
Feeling great. Feeling hopeful about a season. You have an absolutely amazing youth record. I got to ask you right off the bat, how many years have you been wrestling?
I started wrestling when I was 6 years old. I first started wrestling for Warwick Pal, and then I did judo. at Mayo Quanchi, and they were just the work ethic there was amazing, and it was just this. I started wrestling at Mayo Quanchi, and my wrestling took off from there.
Wow. And how old were you when you started doing judo?
7.
7. So you started wrestling at 6.
Yes.
You started judo at 7.
Mhm.
And you're 14.
Yeah.
So basically, like first year wrestling, you didn't win the states, or you did. Your
I
first
won.
year, wrestling, you won your first year wrestling.
I've never lost at the state tournament.
Okay, so that's why you got 7 state youth
Yeah.
state championships. Great, and then go through middle school, 3-time state champ. Did anybody beat you in middle school?
I lost to Jacob Joyce in a dual meet in 7th grade, but
Okay.
we weren't in the same weight class.
All right, fair enough. So you bumped up to wrestle
Yeah.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Jacob was freshman state champion last year, and he was the Rhode Island Interscholastic League varsity state champion.
Yeah.
So that's nothing to be down about, right?
No.
You
It was a
haven't,
learning experience.
and that's what it's all about. And that's what I try to tell wrestlers not to get down. It's all a learning experience. Even your losses, you learn from them, unless you storm off the mat, you throw your headgear, you're punching mats, storming up. Then you don't learn. You know why? Because you lose it. You lose it in your
Yeah.
head. So you don't want to do that, right? Motto is lose gracefully, win with dignity. All right, but don't lose.
Yeah.
All right, I see you following that philosophy pretty good. So you're a freshman this year at Coventry High School. You're coming into a mecca, a dynasty of wrestling, as you know.
Yeah.
When I was wrestling, they were it. I mean, they won the state championship every year. The wrestlers that came out of there with Coach Smith and Coach McGarrian, among others, even Charlie, Coach Gaffney, he was even coaching back then. Him, Rob Smith, who's one of the referees now. They were it was like a wrestling factory. I mean, turning out wrestlers.
Yeah.
So you're coming into a huge dynasty of wrestlers. What do you? How proud are you, first of all, to be going to Coventry High School and wrestling in that type of?
I'm very happy with the situation that I'm in going to Coventry wrestling, because the team there and the energy, and again, like the work ethic at Coventry is outstanding, and they just produce studs, and that's what I'm trying to be.
Well, you definitely have a good start. Now you're coming in as a freshman, but there's no season right now. How is that affecting you? Or is it affecting you at all? Because there's two important things. The seniors leaving, they're all hoping for a season because it's their last year, and it's very important that they get there out on the mat and they get their last season. But it's also equally, if not more important, for the freshmen coming in to have that first season experience. How you feeling right now?
It's a bummer that we don't have my freshman season, and for all the other freshmen, it's tough. But we're still wrestling. I'm still wrestling at Mayo, and like going out to New York and Pennsylvania to wrestle, and it's fun.
Right.
But it's not a good thing that we lost our first season.
Right. Well, keep in mind, we didn't lose it yet. Nothing's been canceled.
Yeah, we still have a chance for a first season.
We do. It's been postponed.
We're praying for a season.
Yeah, we all are. And it's been postponed. It's been pushed down a little bit. And we got our fingers crossed. I am hopeful for a season. I think that we're going to have a season. There's no reason that we shouldn't. With all the precautions that are in place and some of the statistics, for the other teams that are wrestling and the other states that are wrestling, I think they're showing that wrestling can be a safe sport if done correctly, if the precautions are taken correctly. Now, with vaccines out, and if the right people get vaccinated and enough go out, I'm hopeful, and I think that we're going to have a season. So what I need for everybody to do is just stay positive in their minds, say we are going to have a season, period. And it will materialize. It will materialize. But what you're doing right now with still practicing, still going around to tournaments, still wrestling, almost a blessing in disguise that you get to go and hit these tournaments. I'm not sure if you'd be able to do that while the season was in session right now, because when you're traveling like that, you're seen. You're seen by a lot of people. You're making a name on a bigger stage once you step out, of Rhode Island and New England. Even it's great to wrestle in New England, but Massachusetts, Connecticut, who's got what going on. But going out and wrestling, that's really important. What was the last tournament you went into?
The last tournament I went to was I wrestled in a New York duel with Team New England.
Nice.
And I wrestled against New York and New Jersey.
How did that pan out for you?
I went 1-1.
1-1.
But
Good.
it was a good experience to wrestle the New York team and the New Jersey team.
Now, were you wrestling in your age bracket, or
I was wrestling high school. It was a dual meet.
Right. So the guy that you lost to, was he a freshman as well?
I don't believe so, no.
No. All right. What weight did you go?
106.
106. What weight are you going to go this year?
106 again.
You're going to go 106, and are you right at 106, or is that something that you have to maintain?
It's not really a problem to maintain 106. I walk around at like 108, 109. So it's a very easy cut to 106.
Right. Now, with all that you've done already, it's absolutely amazing. But that's what happens when you start wrestling younger. And for the parents out there watching, encourage kids to wrestle younger, because you can really learn a lot, and it really shapes you as a young man. Peyton is a nice kid, polite, and nice and kind, polite. Mason Lynch says Ellis is a beast. Mason Lynch, 138-pound state champion from last year.
Thank you.
You got a lot of people behind you. So starting out young is definitely something that kids should do. It puts them in a great mindset, and it gives them a shot to really do something. Now, how do you get prepared for a match?
I like to listen to music and warm up before my matches, as every wrestler should. But I just get in the zone, and once I'm in the zone, it's hard for me to get out of it until I'm done wrestling. So I just like to think that it's time to go when I'm out on that mat, and I have no other worries or no other job other than to wrestle my opponent.
Right. What's your diet look like? What do you eat?
Protein, a lot of protein.
Yeah. So you're conscious of your diet.
And yeah.
So you're not just stuffing your face with burgers and French fries. Yeah. It's important. It's important because it's that.
Sometimes I do stuff my face with burgers and fries, though.
Well, yeah, you got to do that sometimes. You got to do that sometimes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Everybody's got to have a cheat day, but for generally, you're fueling your body with good nutrition, which is what you should do, because that's the edge. That's the edge. Extra training, practicing, 5 days a week, even in the off season. Now, do you play any other sport, or is this it?
No, I do judo.
Right. Okay.
Wrestling is my main sport.
Right, and you wrestle year round.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. Now, what's your goal for your high school career?
Get my name out there.
Get your name out there.
Trying to be one of the best in the country, and that goal can just keep going on and on. So
Right.
my goal is to just get out there.
Get out there. Take it one match at a time. Win one match at
Yeah.
a time. And make a name for yourself. Nice.
Mhm.
Sounds good. Well, that's all good stuff, all good points. We're going to take another quick break and come back with a teammate of yours, Hayden Myers, who was a state finalist last year. But appreciate what you're talking about, what you're doing, your
Thank you.
dedication, your hard work. You're a great kid. And thanks for coming on the show. Just hang tight. We're going to do a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back. This is Snapdown Wrestling with Tommy Lynch, produced by Sports Fan Base Network, Rhode Island. And we will be right back. Bear with us. All right, welcome back to Sports Fan Base Network, Rhode Island, to Snapdown Wrestling. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We got a great panel of guests. It's really the unbelievable underclassmen that we're talking to tonight, and happen to be members of the Okwandji Wrestling Club and wrestle year round. Now we have Hayden Myers with us. He is 15 years old. He's a sophomore at Coventry High School. He's a freshman state champion and a state finalist last year in the Rhode Island Interscholastic League Varsity State Championship. Very, very impressive. Hayden, how you doing, bud?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Thanks for coming on the show. And we've been talking about what's going on as far as in the state with wrestling, with tournaments. Last year, as you recall, state finals. I don't even think that COVID was a thought last year. You got through the New Englands, and then the following week after that, everything got shut down. I didn't think that it was going to be shut down this far into the season, but the good news is our season hasn't been canceled, and we still have a shot to have a season, which I'm very hopeful of, and I think we're going to have a season. But in the meantime, you're not sitting on the couch.
No, I've been training every day, like 3 at least hours a day, watching our diet and like cutting for future tournaments.
Right.
Just getting ready.
And that's what you got to do. You got to stay ready. You got to be hopeful. You got to continue to compete, continue to practice, and just stay in the game. Keep your head in the game. What do you do to train? You say you train in 3 hours a day. What does that look like? If you can give some tips to some of the younger wrestlers, the middle schoolers out there, what does that look like?
So at Mayo, we do on Mondays, we'll do an hour of wrestling, and we'll do sometimes just an hour of drilling, and then after that, 2 hours of judo. Whatever the structured class is, we'll do whatever the sensei's telling us to do. And Tuesday, you do an hour of judo and then 2 hours wrestling after that. And then it flips Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, you do a private or two, which is just one-on-ones or two-on-ones with your coach. and lifting some days, and then Saturdays just maybe 5 hours of practice, and then like last Saturday we had like a little dual meet at Iron Faith, which is just more practice.
How'd you do in that?
I pinned all my matches, but it was just like a practice thing. It wasn't like any. There wasn't any out of state people. It was all in state, so it was relatively easy.
Right. All right. Well, that's good. You got some people behind you, some good people. Joe Lopez, one of my favorites. Big things as well for Hayden. Elizabeth Carlson Boysu, same thing. Love Peyton's game face. And Serge Hayden is super consistent. Consistency is key for you, huh?
Yeah, consistency. If as long as you're showing up to every practice, giving 100% to in every single minute of that practice, you'll see progress in your skill level and success.
Yeah. Now, last year he was a state finalist. He ended up taking second, state runner-up last year at 113. What are you weighing this year? Which is very impressive for a freshman, by the way. Super impressive. To win the freshman states, which you walked through, I remember that, and to make the state finals and have that type of showing as a freshman is amazing. So, again, congratulations on that. So you did that at 113. Where are you at now?
I weigh around like 124, but sometimes that varies. It'll dip, it'll skyrocket. It just depends what I'm eating. I'm practicing.
Yeah. What are you eating? I like to ask the wrestlers, tips on nutrition and what you're eating. Just maybe, there might be a secret in there to success.
I don't really have any secrets. I'll usually go to my coaches for help. Sometimes they'll help me create like a diet plan, but usually I'm eating just like fruits, vegetables, and like stuff that I like because I'm not watching my weight too heavily right now.
Right. And not watching it too heavily. You're at 124. So does that mean we're looking at you at 120 for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I'm still debating. Maybe I might hit 113, but most likely 120.
Most likely 120. How tall are you?
About 5'7".
5'7". All right. And you're contemplating and considering possibly going down to 113 if the weight starts coming off?
Yeah, we'll see. The lowest I've been able to hit recently is 115 for a tournament, so still 2 pounds off, and that was tough to lose, but
Right.
who knows?
I'm thinking, if the season started in December 2nd when it was supposed to have started, that probably would have been a little easier to do. But since it's going to start in April, which the reason why they give a growth allowance is because, over 3 months, there's a possibility, or over a couple months possibility of some type of growth spurt. So the league gives that, growth allowance across the country. Actually, there's a growth allowance. That sounds like a tough. I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to drop to 13, but me coming through, I would cut weight. Everybody tries to get down to the lowest possible, and you just got to see how it comes off. You just want to make sure that you're always being safe in weight loss, and you're doing it safely, effectively, and through nutrition. We didn't know any better. We would just starve ourselves for a few days and not drink any water, and we would, lose a bunch of weight, and we run ourselves into the ground, which not really smart to do, right? So as long as you can do it safely and effectively, yeah. I say the best of luck to you. Do you have any tournament coming up that you're training for right now?
There's like a thing in Pennsylvania for it's like just a high school showcase. It's usually just like colleges to look at high school wrestlers.
Yeah, that's when is that? Actually, I just had that up. Hold on. Let's see. College Showcase, Pennsylvania. Is that a regional national event? March 12th.
I believe so.
I think it's the 12th. Yeah, Recruiting Showcase. Yeah. High School National Recruiting
Yeah, that
Showcase
sounds like it.
Pennsylvania qualifier. That's on March 12th to March 14th. So anybody out there watching that is not on this train, you got a month or so to get into the game, get your wrestling shoes out of the closet, and start getting back onto the mat. It's happening. It's happening in Rhode Island. It's happening across the country. So you can't really sit back. I don't want anybody to lose any steam. So keep training. Hayden Myers, sophomore at Coventry High School, a freshman state finalist last year, going to be, like I said, a sophomore this year at 113 or 120. We'll see. And thanks for coming on. I want you to hang tight in my lounge. I'm going to go to another quick break. And when we come back, we are going to bring in Gabriel Boisu and talk to him about what he's got going on and some of his accomplishments and some of his things that he does to prepare. But we will be right back with Snapdown Wrestling, followed by SFBN RI. Hang in there. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. BNRI. This is Snapdown Wrestling. We have Gabriel Boisu with us, and we had him a couple of weeks ago, fresh off the mat from the Tulsa Nationals. He is a freshman at Scituate High School and making some noise big time throughout the country, doing what he's got to do. Without further ado, Gabriel, I mean, your resume is impressive. You travel all over. Just Reno World Championship finalist. Just amazing. Freshman at Scituate High School. Welcome, everybody. Gabriel Boisu. How you doing, Gabe?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Now, you're a freshman. You're coming into Scituate High School. You've been wrestling forever.
Yep.
8 years. Actually, since you could walk, I mean, I'm sure.
Pretty much, yeah. I've always been surrounded by that with my dad owning the club. I was basically on the mat since I was in diapers, really.
Right. Literally. Now, what are you weighing right now? 125-ish?
No, I'm 135, and I wrestled nationally at like 126, 127.
Right. And right now you're at 35.
35, 34. I'm around there.
What'd you weigh when you went to the Tulsa Nationals?
Tulsa Nationals, I wrestled at 125,
Yep.
but there's a 2-pound weight allowance, so 27.
Right. How hard is that for you to get down to?
It's really not. It just takes a little extra work, like with cutting water weight and going for runs more often than usually. It's really not harder. It's really not hard compared to what a lot of people make it seem. It's all mental, really. That's what cutting weight is. It's all like a mental thing.
Right. You got to have the discipline to eat the right things, eat a certain amount.
Right.
But by now, you must have it down to pretty much of a science as far as being able to know when to do it, not do it last minute.
Right. Yeah, I know. I have everything's very tedious when it comes to cutting weight.
What do you eat after weigh-ins?
After weigh-ins, I'll have obviously water, and I have this drink mix called Rehydrate. It helps the water go into your system faster. Usually, I like to carb load before tournaments with like complex carbs. So like I'll go to an Italian restaurant and have pasta. Nothing like what's the word? Genetic engineering.
Right.
Like nothing like not real food. Try to stay away from anything that's like man-made. So like I'll also go for like chicken, and anything really it's full of nutrition, but it's also not too heavy, you know?
Yeah.
Because that'll slow you down.
Right. So like anything traditionally that you eat, like every time you weigh in, like I used to eat like pasta and honey with a little bit of butter and like Gatorade and maybe a protein.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll have water with Rehydrate and like pasta with either, if I have to, it'll be meatballs, but I'll have like pasta and chicken. Basically, that's really it.
Yeah.
That's what I think is best for me.
Right. And when you're traveling and wrestling, in Ohio or Oklahoma or anything like that, do you generally have two weigh-ins, or is it just that one weigh-in?
I've never really been to a national tournament that's had more than one weigh-in. The only time I've ever heard of two weigh-ins is actually for state championships.
Right. Right. And we may be doing away with that as well in this state, with going with just the one weigh-in. That's not official or in stone yet, but there have been talks about that.
Mhm.
And you train pretty much 5 days a week?
Every day. Yeah, anywhere from 3 to 5 hours a day, depending on what's going on. Private lessons, weightlifting. I'll coach private lessons. I'll participate in them. We have, like Cade was saying, we have an hour of the opposite sport on whatever night is. So if it's like a wrestling night on like Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll do an hour of judo before, or if it's like a judo night on Monday and Wednesday, we'll have wrestling for an hour before it, and then we'll go straight to wrestling after, or straight to judo once we're done. And that's kind of it for working out, like 3 to 5 hours a day. So usually like 2 hours of privates, one for either judo or wrestling, and then 2 or 1 for just like a regular workout.
Gotcha. During the season, do you do any weightlifting as well, or is it all?
I think what I've been told by my dad, who he guides me through everything because he's also my coach. You're supposed to lay off weightlifting during the season. Like don't do it as much. Obviously, you can still weightlift a little bit, but a lot of times in the season you'll be cutting weight, and it's better if you focus on your technique and your drilling than weightlifting. It's like a really easy way to get hurt is cutting weight while lifting.
Yeah, muscle tears and strains, tendons, strains or pulls or small tears.
Right, with the wrong nutrition, it won't give you like the right fuel for your muscles.
Right, and I agree with that as well. I remember a couple of kids that would do a lot of weightlifting during the season, even when I was wrestling, would get these injuries because of weightlifting. So, but at the same time, if done correctly and done with the right nutrition, it can be safe, it can be effective, it can keep your strength up, even if you're doing it on an off day once a week, just some core training or some core lift. Now you got some people behind you as well, Gonzo saying my guy, John Mosier, crazy talented guests you have on the show. Gabriel has more knowledge of techniques than 90% of coaches, which is, I mean, it's a compliment, Gabe. I mean, come on, you're
Love you
a
too.
freshman, you know,
Mhm.
and all of the guests that I have on this show have the possibility to be multiple time state and New England champions. Yourself being a freshman, I mean, you could go the distance. You could be a four-time state champion or a four-time New England champion. There's only been a handful of those, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're cut from the right cloth and you're going down the right path to do that. In fact, one of your coaches, one of our alumni coming through in Sean Giblin was a four-time state champion. He wrestled for us at West.
Yep.
And he's a great kid and one of your coaches as well. I know he spends a lot of time, and he's a product also of Mayo Kwanji. And he's a good kid, was an All-American in college, did really well. I remember he came out for the Cliff Keen tournament when I lived in Las Vegas. And he came out with my old high school coach, who was coaching Rick at the time, Coach Trebelli, and he brought the whole Rick team down to Las Vegas for the Cliff Keen tournament. And I happened to be the executive assistant on the TV show Pawn Stars at the time. So they come in, I give them a tour of the shop, and they get to get pictures with Rick and Chumley and the old man and, all the cast, and kind of get to see that. So that was my first time I really met Sean Giblin. And we hit it off right away. He's a great guy. I wish he'd come down to our practice room a little bit more, since he is a four-time state champion, alumni of Cranston West. But like I said, you're cut from that same mold, that same cloth. And I am so excited and looking forward to what is going to be happening with you, Gabe. I can't wait.
You.
Yeah, I can't wait just to see your greatness unfold, as well as your teammates, your club teammates, I should say, in Luke Montefusco, Peyton Ellis, and Hayden Myers. So keep up the good work. That being said, let's bring them all up from the lounge if we could, and just bring the whole team in. All right, guys, thanks for hanging in there. I know it's late, but I don't know. I know Narragansett School is canceled for tomorrow. Cranston, I haven't heard anything yet. Coventry, I'm thinking might be canceled, but we don't know yet. And the thing with today that's different is there's distance learning. So a snow day is no longer going to be the traditional snow day that you have to make up at the end of the year. That's one good thing with this distance learning is everything's going to end. I mean, back when I was going to school, if you had a snow day, I mean, even when you guys were going to school, just up until this point when they came out with this platform of distance learning because of what went on with COVID and all that, it's going to be quite different, but you're not going to miss a snow day. And, I'm hoping that I don't lose electricity tonight because there are going to be some power outages. In fact, I think I just saw a little flicker in my lights, but you guys are amazing. Is there anything that you can say, starting with Luke? Because Luke, we brought you on first just to kind of cap this a little bit from your perspective on, what everything is meant to you and these guys and the training and just the difference in your wrestling because of it.
It's just like this is the time to do it. It's a big opportunity because you're doing more than the kid who isn't doing a lot, and that means a lot, especially coming to that first match you'll have. You'll be ahead of the game, and dedication's big time in the sport, and I'm trying to learn that as well right now.
Yeah. Hayden, closing thoughts that you can talk about this season and what's going on with you?
I'm really hopeful that this season is able to happen. So I have another shot at states, and that everyone else has another shot at states, so we can all improve and get our names out to colleges and throughout the country.
Right. And as you know, I mean, unfortunately, New England championships have already been canceled. I'm not sure if they can reinstate that. I don't see why not as we get closer to April and the season if they can reinstate that. If not, I would be, willing to be part of some type of New England club championship or a New England college coaches showcase and have all the high schools in New England participate in it as if it was like a New England championship, just because, someone, with the New England Interscholastic League said, hey, we're canceling it prematurely. I would like to see that happen, and I hope that does happen. Just know, guys, that I am pushing for something like that, and I want to see it happen because all of you have not only state championship potential, but New England championship potential as well. Peyton,
Thank you.
Absolutely. Peyton, your thoughts?
Like Luke and Hayden said, hopeful for a season this year, and we're with training at Mayo Quanchi, we train super hard. I'm thankful for Sensei. He's helped us all out tremendous ways, made us all the men we've become today, and we all are just very thankful for him.
Awesome, well said. And good coaches are going to do that for you. They're going to shape you all the way around, on the mat and off the mat, give you that good work ethic, give you that good thought process, that drive. Coach Carbone, my assistant, weighing in, some great wrestling coming with these young studs. Absolutely. Again, you guys really are setting the bar super high, and it's motivating. It's motivating for us coaches to see that. It's motivating for other wrestlers to see that and to be a part of it. And I hope that these wrestlers do, come out, start wrestling with the clubs. We're looking to do some type of Team USA Rhode Island, to where we're just traveling as one Rhode Island USA wrestling team. You can have your respective club singlets on and wrestle like that, but to just go as Rhode Island, which is something that we did when we wrestled, and back then nobody really wrestled year round. There was a handful of us that wrestled under Bristol, myself, Mount Hope coach Eric Francis, John Lima, Grifka. We would all, maybe there was like 13 of us that just wrestled all over the country, and it was fun, and it made the difference. And you don't have to wrestle year round, but I'll tell you what, it does make the difference, and you see that, and you guys are a perfect example of that. So I would say just keep plugging away, keep that mental focus, keep that thought process going, and you guys are going to go a long way. Serge says Rhode Island against the whole country. I mean, that's true. You guys are are really a part of that. You are that. So it is, and Rhode Island wrestlers are making noise. It's not like, oh, I got somebody from Rhode Island anymore. It's, oh, I got someone from Rhode Island, because Rhode Island wrestlers are tough, mentally tough, physically tough, and it's going to make a difference. And I wanted to just talk about some of the things in closing that are coming up. We have the tentative 2021 schedule for MQ. The Iron Faith January 30th one just passed, but then there's a Mako clinic for all ages that's going to be coming up February 5th, 6th, and 7th at Mayo Quanji. February 12th, Friday night fights at Mayo Quanji, and February 13th, middle school matches at Iron Faith. February 14th, high school dual meet at Mayo Quanji. The 19th is high school matches at Iron Faith. The 20th is middle school matches at Mayo Quanji, and the 21st tentative elementary school matches at Mayo Quanji, and March 7th, K through 8 dual meet. So there's a lot of things coming up, and as I mentioned, March 12th, 13th, and 14th is that showcase in Pennsylvania. We'll have more information posted on that, not only through my Snapdown show, but on my Facebook page, the Rhode Island High School Wrestling page. If you're not a member of that yet, Make sure you go onto that group and become a member. We're going to be posting a lot of information and a lot of highlights on there coming up in the future. And Iron Faith, like I said, they have that Saturday, February 13th. And Iron Faith is run by Eben and Steven Jarrell. They were on last week talking about their program. And like I said, February the 13th, be hosting the middle school and the youth matches starting at 11 a.m. Text Eben or message Eben at 489-0965. Your weight, name, and age to register, and it's only $20 at the door. There will be a cap, so don't wait. As you know, we only have a certain numbers that we can have in a building right now, but everything is going to be monitored and safe and wiped down and sanitized as usual to try to make it the safest atmosphere possible. And of course, masks when you're off the mat. So lots of good things to come. Again, I'm glad you guys are a part of it. You're setting a great example. Keep up the hard work. I appreciate you coming on the show. And we'll catch you again. Like I said, everybody's really looking forward to your wrestling. Really a bunch of talented bunch of kids. And just keep up that hard work. Again, thanks for coming on. Snapdown Wrestling as part of the Sports Fan Base Network, Rhode Island. And guys, good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My
Have
pleasure.
a nice night.
You too. Stay safe. Stay warm. All right. No traveling, obviously, tonight. And keep an eye out for school and help your parents shovel. All right. That's important. Make sure you're out there shoveling. All right. And it's a good workout, too. Thanks, guys. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And to Ron Robert for producing the show and the Sports Fan Base Network, Rhode Island. I really appreciate you. I'm Tommy Lynch, your host of Snapdown Wrestling. Next Monday night will be at 9 o'clock. And next Monday night, we're going to have a special segment, and it's going to be a refs rule segment completely with our referee president, Joe Gravina. He's going to be going over a lot of the new rule changes and just be going over the rules in general. So all wrestlers and coaches should tune in for that. He's going to go in depth on all the rules, and Joe Gravina is going to be my only guest next week. It's going to be a complete refs rule segment, and that is next Monday night at 9 o'clock. Again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I'm Tommy Lynch with Snapdown Wrestling. Have a great night.
Okay.